About 2 weeks ago, I booked an Airbnb in another country. I was waiting there for a concert. The room was cheap, so I knew I wasn't going to stay in a 5-star hotel, but it was only for one night, so I didn't mind as long as I had a bed. To start off, it already wasn't a great trip because my data roaming apparently didn't work in that country at all. I logged into a cafe Wi-Fi and planned my route in advance as best as I could. Managed to be at the house in time, rang the only bell and waited. Nobody came out. I repeatedly rang it and waited for 5 minutes. I noticed the door had a slot for mail and looked through it. I was shocked to see an entrance that looked like an abandoned barn. A super dusty couch right in front of the door. Pieces of furniture covered in cloth. Very dirty and extremely old. I usually love old houses, but that just didn't look like a house that was in use or prepared for guests at all. I wondered if I was at the wrong house and what to do now, as a super old unwashed looking guy walked towards the door from the street. I asked him if he knew where the Airbnb was. He mumbled something, which I interpreted as positive. So I asked him if he was Tim, my host. He said yes and opened the door for me. Well, I already described the entrance. The centerpiece was definitely the super old, creaky staircase that led to the upper part of the house. I followed him upstairs. He was heaving and coughing and stinking of cigarettes, which wasn't exactly pleasant, but alright. The second floor was also abandoned looking, super dark with clustered furniture hung with cloth and randomly thrown together, and a super creepy curtain that I couldn't catch a glimpse behind. Another stair up, and we're in my hallway, which was honestly the worst one. Cracks in the walls, old rule paintings, and crosses hung up next to them. It seriously looked like the set of a horror movie. I usually don't have a problem with decor like that. I'm kind of goth, so anything darkly inclined is my jam, but everything looks so badly taken care of, and I got major creepo vibes from this house. Showed me the bathroom, which had a huge hole missing in the bathtub tiling and the wall. Everything looked super dirty. He showed me to my bedroom, which was honestly okay. There were just a lot of creepy dolls on the shelves that threw me off, but the bed seemed fine. I asked him if they had Wi-Fi, and he said no, which really sucked. I really hoped they would have, because that meant I would have no way to communicate in there. I also asked him when checkout was the next day. He then said, it doesn't matter. He then dragged himself up to the 4th story, which was in complete pitch black darkness, by the way, so that gave me very weird vibes. I definitely didn't want to get into the shower, so I just quickly changed and charged my phone. When I went to the bathroom, I realized I didn't even notice the creepiest part. There were no locks at all. Not for the bathroom and not for my room. I also noticed that there were so many half-used items that someone who looked like the guest before me had left there, like shower gels, toothbrushes, and toothpaste. A random lash curler just lay abandoned on the shelf. Not like a here you go, for your use in case you forgot yours way, but it just looked like someone left it and nobody bothered to clean it. I already made my mind up that I would definitely not stay the night in this house. My mind was just spinning scenarios. What if all these products were left by the people before me? Why did nobody leave horrendous reviews? I was super spooked. I seriously debated if I should take all my shit to the concert, because it didn't feel safe in the slightest. But my back was really hurting from my heavy backpack, so I just took my essentials and left the room as soon as I could. Not without sliding a folded paper under the door, so I'd see if someone tried to open it in my absence. When I was coming down the staircase, I heard someone turning a key in the front door. I was a bit confused, but in the advert, it said that a couple lived there, so I expected to see the wife or girlfriend of the guy I'd already met. Instead, a middle-aged man enters and says, "Hey, I'm Tim." All I could think of, then, who the fuck is the other guy? I was shitting myself inside, but I had brief small talk with him, and finally left the house. I was shook. Luckily, I made it in time to the venue, and the concert was worth it. Afterwards, I was so tired that I knew I couldn't stay awake for the whole night, so I checked into a hostel. That was also not perfectly clean, but at least they had Wi-Fi, a proper shower, and a door that had a lock. The next day I got thrown out at 10 a.m., so I made my way to get the rest of my stuff. I don't know why, but I checked the mail slot again and jumped back. The old guy was just snoring on the couch directly in front of the entrance door. tried my best not to wake him up and snuck into my room to get my stuff. The door hadn't been opened, thankfully, and I finally left this godforsaken place. I don't know if I overreacted, but honestly, from the 2 Tims to the missing locks and a checkout that didn't matter, I assumed the worst. This would have been the perfect setup to assault or murder someone. In the best case scenario, nothing would have happened, but I probably would have had panic attacks all night. Usually I love solo traveling, but this was just too much.